I haven't said this in a while. What up, Pod World? It's your boy Andy Bivians. It's Bivian. That's the one true old daddy of Bivians, INC. And alongside me is,
Rob Cedeno, what's going on?
ooh, old daddy. So now we are proud to bring you the second installment of Know Thy Neighbor. I can't wait. And I was on the first, and now it's time for Mr. Rob Cedeno, the crypto king himself,
Oh no,
to take that leap.
I'm in the hot seat.
You're in the hot seat. Are you ready?
As ready as I'm gonna be.
Let's get it on. See what I did there? Whoa, daddy. So, hi, neighbor.
What up?
Tell us about yourself.
Oh, I like how you did that. All right, let's see. Rob Cedeno, for those who don't know, I'm a 34 man. Hello, got a beard. What up? What up? Recently engaged.
Ooh, congratulations.
Thank you. Father of one. Bay, bay,
Ooh.
bay. Little crazy kid. What can I say? I am an entrepreneur. Do not have a traditional job. Do not have a 9 to 5. I am a homeowner.
Ooh.
I am an investor.
Ooh.
And god damn it, I'm a world traveler.
Ooh. Talk about it.
I do like the Yankees and wrestling and long walks on the beach, like you said.
Yes. I
Just
knew
kidding. I
there
don't
was
really
more than
like the
one.
beach, man. I don't really like the beach. Beach is boring.
Man, you gotta drink it in,
I'd rather
man.
drink it in a pool, man.
That's fair, because then you can just put your cup on the side and whatnot.
Yeah, yeah,
All right, no doubt. Well,
yeah,
Rob,
yeah. I'm
um,
ready.
you know, we should start off with, your early childhood,
Okay.
but I'm gonna shoot for a second
Oh,
because something you said just caught my eye, and I think it would be pretty interesting to the listeners. You're a world traveler,
yeah,
you're a homeowner,
yeah,
you don't have a 9 to 5,
yeah.
you don't have a traditional job.
I know that's right.
How did you pull that off? Because I know a lot of people are thinking, hey, I need this 9 to 5 so I can build this and get to here. Like, how'd you do it?
Oh man. Uh, Technically, I can go back to I haven't had a 9 to 5 like really ever.
Ooh,
Like every job I've ever had has never really been a 9 to 5, minus the fact I worked at a bank for like less than a year, and I was like, this sucks. But most of the jobs I've had were either I was working, um, I was like a camp director, so I worked like 9 to 5, but 3 months out of the year.
okay.
Um, and then I was always like in and out of jobs, but not like I guess not like quitting jobs, but I was a waiter for a while, so like that's not a 9 to 5.
Okay.
And that's kind of like you make your own hours kind of thing. I worked retail a couple times, but again, most of the time not a 9 to 5, like part time, because a lot of the times I was doing like school and stuff part time too.
Okay.
Um, and then I just kind of found ways to make money outside of a 9 to 5 that, I mean, with investing, I had a, I still have a business that I run. Um, but yeah, I just kind of look at it as how can I make the most money with the least amount of work?
I hear that.
Yeah. And I've kind of always been like that. I've never been like a good employee, I guess you could say. You could probably ask some people I've worked for. Probably not the best employee, but I get shit done. I just don't like authority.
Understandably so.
Yeah. Especially like I'm really big on if you're gonna tell me what to do, I better know that you know how to do it too, and I've seen you do it too, and you're not just bossing me around because you have a title. And it's like you're
Ooh.
actually like you're genuinely looking for help, and not just like demanding.
Okay.
Like I don't know. I've always been like that. It's like I've been at jobs that are like, go do this, and I'm like, I'm like, I've just been like, I've never seen you do that before. I'm the boss. I don't need to do that. You're this person that needs to do that. I'm like, okay, so you're bossing me around. Like I'm okay with working with someone who has the same or more worth ethic.
Yeah.
But if I'm working for someone who is lazy and has no worth ethic and they just try to like, fucking whip you to go do shit, I'm like, nah, that's never gonna work. Yeah, nah, nah.
So have you always had that like growing up throughout your entire life? Like have you always had that like feeling or
Yeah, because I didn't
yeah.
really like school because I didn't like authority in school, but I was never like, I never like was a rebel, but I was always like, I don't really like what you're saying. But even as a kid, like, dude, I was like 5 or 6. I would have lemonade stands outside of the apartment building that we lived in Yonkers.
Yeah.
5 or 6. No one told me how to do that. I just was like, how do I make money? Dude, it got to the point that like me and my brother would sit out there in the lemonade stand, and there would not be any cars or people walking by. We would literally walk house to house with cups of lemonade, being like, "Do you want lemonade?" And they could just go fucking get it in their house, and they were paying us for it.
Got some Gary V shit right there.
Yeah, dude, I used to flip candy like at school and shit like that. Dude, I like all that stuff. I
So
mean, I
you've
wish
been
that I was a little bit smarter when I was younger and saved more money because I'd be in a much different spot right now. I knew how to
fair.
make money, I didn't know how to save money and invest it.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. So would you say like the lemonade stand definitely shaped you slash was um like an impactful memory for you in your childhood?
Uh, in the sense of just like hustle, yeah, I guess so.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
fair.
yeah.
If you had to pick another impactful memory, what would it be?
Oh, as a kid, man, gratitude.
Oh, okay.
I could say, let me see, how simple. It's like a simple thing that I remember. I remember it was like an Easter that we went to. So like growing up, we never really had a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like an Easter, and we went to my grandparents, and they got us like these little dinky toys, like literally probably dollar store toys, right?
Uh,
And I remember I was like, wow, this is fucking awesome. Like, thank you so much, kind of thing. And my brother, at, when he was younger, he was like, this is stupid, blah, 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 and like wasn't having it. And I just came in and I was like, hey, if you don't want it, I'll take it. And I was like so happy. Like, I just remember that, like that Easter, like I was just so happy over these like little toys. And after that, I was like, I'm just happy to have something. Like I don't need
fair.
everything. But then I also
Yeah,
remember another Christmas that I really wanted the Super Nintendo, and my dad was like, "Nah, you're not getting it." And then my grandparents were like, "Well, you are getting it, and we're going against your parents' will." But that was probably like the biggest gift I ever got as a kid.
that's dope. That's dope.
Yeah,
So would you say that was like one of like your happiest moments?
happy as a kid.
Yeah.
Uh, Man, there's so many moments. I don't know. There's like a lot. I feel like one of the things I liked as a kid is that we used to go camping like 3 or 4 times every summer, like with my
Yeah.
cousins and stuff. So like again, we didn't have much like money wise when I was younger, so we didn't go on like Disney trips and shit like that. Like our vacations were going camping.
Okay.
And you can go get a campsite for a weekend for like $30.
Yeah.
So like me and my family would just go 3 or 4 times a summer, 20, $30 for the campsite. They would all, save up during the year, get a tent, and that tent lasts 10 years kind of thing. And it was just like a really good bonding family kind of like every single year looking forward to it kind of thing.
Nice.
And yeah, I feel like some of that stuff is probably in that like happiest memory. Um,
Okay.
And a lot of that stuff, like I remember with my mom, like they had this campsite had like an arcade section. They had like dancing and like swimming and stuff like that. I just remember like doing a lot of dancing with my mom. Like they played bingo and we played the arcade and like I would do like swimming races with my cousins in the pool and all that other shit. Yeah, trying to,
That's awesome.
yeah, those were fun times. Probably
Camping
happiest
is always
times.
fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Um, what would you say would be your hardest or like worst slash most difficult moment? It
Oh,
could
that.
be any time of your life.
Oh, that's easy, dude. That one's an easy one. Um, Worst day ever, straight up, was moment. Okay, I'll say moment because I can remember this very, very vividly. Was when I found out my mom passed away.
Mhm.
I was going into work. Okay, I'm gonna go into the story. I was going into work. I was working at Chili's at the time. I'm walking inside um, to go check in. I'm in the manager's office. Three of my managers are in the room. I think I'm grabbing a check or something. And my brother calls me and he's like crying on the phone and I can't really make out what he's saying. And he's like, she's dead, she's not breathing, she's dead, kind of thing. And I'm
Mhm.
saying this very like nonchalantly because if I say it too serious, then I'll start crying or whatever. But
Yeah.
and I'm saying this, I'm like, wait, what? Like, because I'm not understanding it, and I'm in a restaurant, so it's loud. And I'm like, I look at my bosses, and I'm like, I think my mom just died. And they were like, what? I was like, I think my brother's telling me my mom just died. And they're like, go figure that out. Take the day, like, go. And I'm still not like 100%. So then I walk out toward my car, and one of the hostess walks in, and then I finally hear him say it clear. And I just remember like falling to my knees in front of this
Mhm.
hostess, like a brand new hostess, just being like what? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then driving over to my mom's house where my brother and my dad was, just like the whole time going like, this isn't real. This isn't real. This isn't real. This isn't real. And then finally getting there and it being real, like the ambulance out there, and they didn't let me see my mom while she was in the house. Like
Yeah.
I just went in the back to like console my brother and my dad, and so I didn't see anything, and I just kind of saw something going into the ambulance, and just like that hour was just like this isn't real life. Yeah. So that's probably moment. I can't say day. I hate when people go like my worst day was because I can't say that my day was bad before that.
Yeah.
And working at a restaurant, I was normally going into work at like I don't know the earliest 2 or 3 o'clock. So I had half a day before that.
Yeah.
But like that hour and beyond, well, yeah, probably worst.
Would you say like you were closer to your mom or were you closer to your dad?
Oh, 100% close to my mom, especially at that point. I've had sorry. I've had a lot of issues with my dad when I was younger. Not so much now. But me and my dad have actually talked about why there was issues when I was younger.
Yeah.
Like more recently than when the issues were happening. And a lot of it was and I'm telling you how silly this shit is, okay? My dad told me that when I got that Super Nintendo I just said,
Mm-hmm.
I was like 8, 9 or 10, okay? As kids.
Okay.
And when I got that, I looked at him like, "Ha, I got it anyway even though you said no." And he told me he held that shit against me for like the longest time. And he said that that was the start of like cracking of our relationship. I was like, dude, I was fucking 10, 8.
Right.
And then,
Oh wow.
yeah. And then when I like became a teenager and like started hanging out with people, he made the decision to think that the people I was hanging out with were not good people without actually knowing them.
Okay.
And a lot of it was him assuming that I was doing bad things when I wasn't. So then that made his relationship with me as if I was trying to like do shit behind his back and like say fuck you to him because I wasn't it was like I wasn't listening to him when he was like, I don't want you to hang out with people like that. And I'm like, but they're not what you're saying that they are. And then
Yeah,
because I was like not saying yes, you're right and battling, it was like our relationship was ruined because I've told him even recently, I was like, if you just talked to me and actually asked me questions about who I hung out with and what I did, you probably would have realized like I wasn't doing 99% of the shit you thought I was doing.
oh wow,
Like that's how like these assumptions he was making, and it was like bad. But yeah, so me and my dad did not have a relationship up until like my mom passed, and then after that he was kind of like, whoa, well, you're my son and I can't really, you know, you're like the only family kind of thing, like you're my
yeah.
family. So definitely better relationship with my mom. Was able to talk to her about everything, anything, always, anytime, no matter what. Like, dude, when I was in uh elementary school, I went to a Catholic school, so it was like for rich kids, and my grandparents paid for it. And everyone knew that I was not rich like the rest of them, and I used to get picked on all the time. My
Hmm.
mom used to be the one that like at the end of school, like when I got home, I would come home crying, and she'd be like, "Listen, these people don't know who you are. They just know how much we have in our bank account for some reason, and they think that's more important than who you are as a person." And she always like that positive like affirmation stuff, like that positive reinforcement. She was always there. Like even when I was in that awkward stage, like 13, 14, 15, when I was like, no girl wants to date me, she'd be like, listen, they might not want to date you now. You might not be the typical like jock or what these girls are looking for now, but when you get older and when you become the man that I know you are, like you're gonna be fine. Don't worry. Don't let the things that are happening in school define you for the rest of your life. Like that's how she was.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I got that like all the time. If I had any bad days, it would always be like, "Hey, let's sit down and talk. What's up?"
I was about to say I can definitely see how like that has molded you into the person that you are today because I've seen you do that firsthand and like talk to others the same exact way. Like whatever they do doesn't define who you are. You
Yeah.
already know who you are.
Yeah. She started me young. It took a
Yeah.
long time to like really click it because obviously like when you're younger and like that you're just like they're making fun of me and I blah 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 because I was I was a bigger like I'm a big guy now but like I was bigger then.
Hmm.
And it's like at that point it's all like all insecurities of, oh, I'm too fat, or I'm my family's poor, or I'm not a jock, or I'm not the most attractive guy, like all that nonsense that like people think matter back when like it's school days, and then it doesn't matter at all like when you get out of school and all this shit. So it was just like a lot of that shit, and like obviously that's hard to shake when you are that age. Now I don't give a fuck.
Now you're just like, yo, here we are.
Yeah, you get what you see, and you like it, you don't like it. I don't give a fuck. Get out of here.
um, so right now, as you know, we're dealing with a pandemic, and I know we talked a little bit about dealing with a pandemic in our previous episodes, but for Know Thy Neighbor, do you remember where you were during 9/11?
Yeah, uh, me and Taylor were talking about this the other day. I was either I feel like I was in Van Wyck,
Okay.
but then the timeline would have made it that I was a freshman at John Jay because I
Oh,
graduated '05. But then I'm trying to think. It might have been that like I was in John Jay. Pretty sure I was in the cafeteria. They put it on the announcements. I was in the hallway because my parents came to pick me up. And then I think then we went to Van Wyck to pick up my brother.
that makes sense.
But then like I was telling her, I don't know what was going through my parents' mind, but I know that like they packed the car, and I remember going to like a gas station waiting in line to fill up the car, but like everybody and their mother was doing the same thing.
Hmm.
And then like they just started driving, but we didn't know where they were going.
Hmm.
But I don't really remember the time frame because I believe I saw the second plane hit while we were home.
Oh wow.
And then so I'm thinking maybe we got picked up from school, second plane hit, we saw it home, or it could have just been a replay. I like, and then we got in the car, and then like we just started driving, and then all of a sudden we just stopped driving and turned around and went home.
Oh wow.
Yeah, very. I remember details, but I don't know like the order, if that makes sense.
Did you live like in the same spot you do now, or did you live like closer to the city or
Oh
in
no,
this?
like where my dad lives now. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
That's crazy. Did you know anybody who like was with there or like dealt
A
with
couple of
that?
my friends like in school, like I know one of my friend John, his dad died. I know another guy went to school with Dennis, I believe his dad died too. So like I knew some people.
Yeah.
Taylor said that her aunt worked in the one of the towers, and she said that I guess when the first tower hit, no one knew what it was who was like in the building,
Yeah.
and they were like, "Oh no, everyone stay here. Don't leave. It's a false alarm. We don't know what's going on." And her aunt was like, "I don't like this. I'm gonna go for a coffee run. Who wants to come with me?"
Yeah, right.
And she was able. She left, and a couple people went with her. And luckily, she was not in the building. But
That's crazy.
yeah.
That's crazy. With the pandemic going on now, like what was your hardest part to deal with or understand while going through it?
I think it's a little different in my situation because like Banks was born like 3 months before the pandemic started, 4 months before the pandemic started. So like I think the biggest thing was we were so focused on being new parents that like the fact that I was home was almost like a blessing
Okay.
because I could help. The hard part about that, I think, maybe is that we weren't able to have the help maybe necessary that some parents get from
Hmm.
their parents, like from the grandparents and stuff. Like we
Yeah.
weren't able to have that right away. And then when we did have that, it was like kind of like, are you sick? Do you have any symptoms? Do you do this hand sanitizer, mat? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so we didn't really
Yeah.
have that. But then I'd say like when during the pandemic, me and Taylor were only living together for less than a year.
Yeah. Okay.
We bought the house in 2018, so it's
Started
2021.
mm,
So yeah,
December 19, right?
under 2 years, because we bought it 2018, I believe. So then 2019 that would have been one, and then 2020 would have been 2 years. So just under 2 years, and a lot like obviously we're busy. Like she works, I work, so we're not like always home. So I think that time it was like really getting to know each other and being
Mm.
forced to be in the same room or same house. And I think it definitely helped our relationship because don't get me wrong, there was fights, there was battling, there was like get the fuck out of my face, like go somewhere else, like all that. But it also got us to kind of go deeper in our relationship and be like, do we want this? Yes or no? Because we're gonna be if we want this, we're gonna be with each other. So we have to figure out what is causing the tension, what's causing the anger, the upset, all that stuff. Which
Yeah.
I think we discovered like a lot of it. Obviously, you don't discover everything. Like it, sometimes people are married for 20 years before they really like they get every aspect of it. So we got a lot, I think. So in that sense, I didn't. Pandemic was more early parenthood and figuring each other out.
Were you because I know with like new parents, like a lot of them are very, scared because they don't want, anything to happen or they don't want to do things wrong. Did that bring you guys to like almost terrified because you had the pandemic, or was it like an added learning experience with uh being new parents.
I think it was an ad experience because I think at that point it was like the realization of we have to do this. You know what I'm saying? Like we have to figure it out. We're
Okay.
not going to have help. Like we can't go. And I think honestly, I think that's why we don't really ask for help now because we never really had it. Like we
Yeah.
had it here and there, but and this there's nothing wrong about this, but like I know people who have kids that like their grandparents watch their kids every weekend. Like sleepovers every weekend. So that
Yeah.
the parents can go out every weekend and like live their normal life. Banks has not slept over anyone else's house, and he's almost two. You know what I'm saying? And even like if we go do a date night, it's like oh okay, he goes to sleep at 7:30, 8 o'clock. Come over at 8:30 after he's sleeping. Just sit in the basement, watch TV. We'll check the camera while we're out eating dinner or whatever, and then we'll come home and then you leave. You don't have to interact with him at all. Like that's how we do it.
Yeah.
And then every now and then we'll go, okay, can someone watch him for 3 hours during the day? But like full day, overnight things, yeah, no, we still don't even do that shit.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I think it's just because we got so used to it.
Yeah, you guys, like you said, you literally did it through the entire pandemic, so you got used to it.
Yeah.
Like you got used to building that. Um, I know you're a very goal oriented guy. Like uh you see something you want, you drive for it. You don't know how you're getting it, but you're fucking getting there. Um,
Pretty much.
what is your what is one thing that you could say that's like a either an unbreakable dream or a vision that you've always had but never expressed to anybody?
Ooh. Um, Unbreakable dream, I would say being successful enough to be happy. It doesn't have to be like I have billions of dollars, just being something that I don't have to worry and I can kind of live life. I'm already working toward that right now. I think that could happen in the next 5 years or less, which would be nice. You said something I haven't told anybody?
Like everybody's got a vision for what they see for the future or what they want. Do you have a vision that like you've seen it, you've silently been working at it, but haven't really come to terms that like, oh, that's it. If that, I think my wording is
Um, I do vocalize it a lot because I feel like vocalizing puts it out there, and if you just keep it in your own head, you don't keep yourself accountable.
okay.
So Taylor hears my shit all the time, like all the time. Um, uh, I've told her like I want a bigger house. I want X, Y, and Z about the house. I've told her that I don't want flashy cars, but I want a nicer car. I told her that when Banks goes to school, I want to be able to get her into a position that we both don't have to work, or if we do, it's like part time, or and we can kind of control when we work, how we work. And I
Yeah.
told her when he gets into school, I want to take vacations every summer. Like
Okay.
when I say every summer, I'm talking about like he gets out of school in June, goes back in September, we're leaving the day after and we're coming
Yeah.
back the day before. Like every
Yeah.
summer. To me that's it. Like if I had that, I'd be good. Everything else is cool. But like just like enough here, quick story. In the DR, we went on the tour for the Monkey Land and
Mhm.
there was this guy Rudy and I'm like he made an impact on me. So I think we're gonna go back eventually and I'm gonna try to
Okay.
find him. I'm gonna try to find him. And he kind of was like he was the tour guide and he said he lives off the land and in DR a lot of people live or work to live in the sense of they don't get paid money, they just get paid, they have a roof over their head.
Okay.
So he was kind of going into that and how a lot of people just kind of like live off the stuff that's in the wild and stuff, like not like the wild but like farmland or whatever. And you could tell because he made a lot of jokes like how he doesn't have that much because just the way he was brought up. And he said that a lot of people in the DR are always smiling because they're just so grateful for the things that they do have, and they focus more on the things they do have over the things that they don't. And I was
Okay.
like, wow, okay. Then he was like very interactive with Banks and made him feel welcome. And
That's
me and
awesome.
Banks were wearing Yankee hats. And this guy, again, went out of his way. Everyone else was doing their thing. He went out of his way to come talk to me and saying, "Oh, so you're a Yankee fan?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, I'm diehard." And he goes, "I'm a diehard Yankee fan too." And it started going into details, like details, like, "Oh, you know, Gary Sanchez has 54 pass balls since 2017, which is the most in Major League since that time. Oh, who do you think is the next shortstop going to be after Torres got moved to second?" And like showing me pictures and stuff like that. I'm like, dude, like you're a good person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I, as simple as this, I want to have enough money that when I go back, and if he's still working there, which I think, because a lot of these people do work these jobs for like their lifetime, I'm gonna find him, and I'm gonna go, hey, bro, get your wife, your best friend, whoever. I'm gonna fly you and them to New York on my dime, hotel on my dime, and I'll get you guys tickets to a game on my dime. And
Yeah,
I
he would
think
love
something like
that.
that would just would just be so cool to do. And it would never be like a thing like, "Oh, I'm gonna record it," and be like, "Hey man, I'm doing this a favor for
I'm
you."
posting it.
No,
Yeah.
it'd just be like, this guy was hardworking, busting his ass every day, happy for what he does already have, but he's so diehard a Yankee fan that he like went out of his way to talk to me, made my son feel comfortable, made my fiance feel comfortable. I was like, I wish I could do more for you right now, but yeah,
When you come back and you bless him with that, like that means even more,
yeah,
because he made that big of an impact that like you work towards that and you're like, yo,
yeah.
here you go.
I've already told Taylor, I was like, she was like, we should go back on our honeymoon. I was like, I'm down. And she goes, that's in like a year or so. And I was like, yeah, I'll save up money just to fly him out. And she's
I'll
like, you
figure it
really do
out.
that? And she's like, but we're saving up for a wedding. I was like, I'll make it happen. And she's like, okay. Because again, it's like, I if you have $100 million in the bank, and this is why I don't understand like these billionaires. What are you gonna do with all that money? At a certain point, unless you're doing something like at a certain point, you're not spending it.
There's no way you can spend it all.
There's no way you can spend it all. So why not? If you have everything you want, or how about this? Not everything you want. If you have everything you need, roof over your head, a car to get to A to B, if you live in an area that needs a car, food, health, happiness. Why do you need all that money?
It's so true.
Pass the blessing to somebody else. Who gives a fuck? Oh, oh, I have $1 million, but I can't give some guy 3,000 to go to see a fucking Yankee game and fly him out to New York and get him a hotel.
But still got a millie.
Fuck off. Yeah, that shit annoys me.
So I'm gonna switch gears for a second, and we're gonna go into since this weekend, I'm pretty sure all around the world was the opening of haunting season.
Oh boy.
Shout out to my fright trail, Howl. Um, oh, wow, that made me think of Too Sweet. Um, so, have you ever had a near death experience? Number one, and number two, have you ever had a paranormal experience?
E- yes to the paranormal. Two.
Okay.
I'd say two or three for the paranormal.
Ooh,
Um, four, but I don't know if I was dreaming on that one, but it felt real. Um, near death, probably. Honestly, I've been in a couple car accidents that probably could have ended up going another way. I've been in some scary plane rides that could have went another way. Uh, I mean, I've almost drowned as a kid a couple times, but
oh wow.
I remember one time when I first like knew how to swim, I ended up like sinking to the bottom of the water, like thought I was gonna die. My uncle dove in and saved me. One time in Puerto Rico, like I got just torn up in the waves. That was
Mm,
scary. Yeah, paranormal. Okay, let's go into these. I got four.
I'm
Quick.
excited.
One, when I was younger, my grandmother, my no, great grandmother passed away when I was a kid. I don't remember this, but my family's told me the story. I was in my room, and she walked by, walked through the wall, stopped in the middle of the room, waved, walked by into the other wall. For one reason or another, my focus was she had no shoes on. My mom was like, "Hey, what are you talking about?" She called my grandmother and she said, "Oh, he saw so and so, no shoes on." And my grandmother was like, she wasn't buried with shoes on.
Wow.
Weird, right? Um, Two happened in the same house. I think I told this on a previous podcast, but first day we moved in, me and it was four guys, only me and the other two. It was just me and another guy for the first two nights. Upstairs playing video games. Downstairs heard ting 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 like a little noise. The light turned on. He thought he left the light on, went downstairs, turned it off, came back upstairs, heard it again, went downstairs, turned it off. Happened a couple times. The last time his keys were in the middle of the room, on the floor, where they were not prior. Another one in that house, we had rabbits in a cage, and there was like a piece of wood on top of it. So we used it as like to keep all the hay and like the food. So there was no way they can get out up, right? Um, you just heard, and all of a sudden, the rabbits were on top of the cage. The doors were closed. The cage was locked. Don't know how they got out and up. No, don't know
That's
why.
crazy.
No sign of struggle, like nothing. No idea how. Fourth one, if I remember correctly, it was when I first moved into this house.
Okay.
Um, I don't know. Like I felt like I honestly like didn't even tell Taylor this, so like she doesn't even know this, but because she gets scared for the stuff like this. But like when we first moved in, we were in bed, and I just felt like one night I woke up. I felt like I was awake, and I just felt like something was holding my entire body down, and I just kept seeing these like things floating on the ceiling, and like it just felt like anger. If that makes like
Mm.
I don't know how to explain it, but like I felt like I was pinned down and I could not move, and whatever was around just felt like angry. Like it just felt like an anger presence, and I just felt like I was just like I don't know. I couldn't move. I couldn't do anything. I'm pretty sure I was awake, was not drunk or high or nothing like that. And I was like, "Oh no, like this is scary shit." And I think it happened like two nights, but then the second night, like I didn't resist as much. Like I felt like the first night I was trying to move and I couldn't. And I think the second night I kind of just like felt it and just kind of like leaned in a little bit and just kind of what is happening. And then it never happened again.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Some interesting stuff happened to you.
Yeah, yeah, weird things. Um,
um,
yeah, weird shit.
that's insane. So, we got a couple more questions for you here
Oh,
that I
here's a
could
quick
think
one
of.
on near death. I guess you could say near death, real quick, because
Okay.
some people don't know this. When I was younger, I was just learning how to ride a bike. We were at the a park, I think the Bronx Park, Bronx something park. Um, just started learning my bike. Didn't know how to use brakes yet, and there was this ramp like this, and in the middle of the ramp there was like pole, like a handbar,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like the one that had the top railing, the bottom railing, like the middle railing, and then
Okay.
the pole every like 6 feet or whatever.
Yeah.
And I guess it's not really near death, but it does explain something about me that maybe you don't even know. I went down it not knowing how to use my brakes, and I literally just smashed my face into the pole to the point that like I knocked out my front two teeth. One of the tooth like kind of like fucking Mick Foley.
Ooh.
Like jabbed it, and there's like a little like skin lip on the top of my lip, and they were like, "Oh, that could have been way worse." So it's like not death, but like it would have been way
Yeah.
worse. So like even now, like people are like, "Oh, you have fucked up teeth." It's like, yeah, I got fucked up teeth because like I fucked up my teeth.
Fuck
Like,
myself up.
yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah.
That's insane. Yeah. Um, I feel like little accidents like that, like on a skateboard or a bike or like rollerblades, are the ones that fuck us up the most.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What's what's one regret that you have in life?
Ooh, I'd say there's probably two. Two
Okay.
like
What's two?
one more general, one less general. One is like we can all look back and kind of go, I regret treating a person a certain way at a certain time, at a certain moment. You know what I'm saying? Like you could probably look back and be like, damn, that one person I was having a rough day or like a rough couple months or I was in a bad headspace and I, you know, either spoke to them the wrong way or treated them the wrong way or whatever the case is. And like obviously I think about that stuff sometimes because I'm always like, that wasn't who I was and that's not who I am. And I can't do anything about it. And I kind of beat myself up about that sometimes when I think about stuff like that. Um, but that just happens. Everyone does it. You just kind of have to be forgiving to yourself, whether they forgive you or not. Um, and hopefully they move on or they don't take it personally or, what I'm saying, it doesn't affect them at all. Who knows? But the one big regret is I think that if I knew that I had less time with my mom, I probably would have spent more time with her. Yeah. For those who don't know, she did die due to alcoholism.
Mm.
It happened. She was always a drinker. She was like a social drinker, but once she lost both of her parents within a year, it like got really bad. And at that point, again, this is kind of one of those things. Like at that point in my life, I was like in my mid to early 20s, and I moved out, and I was kind of in this whole like I'm just doing me, exploring me, figuring out me, not necessarily like all up in my parents' shit, and they weren't all up in my shit. And if I obviously can't change anything, but if I would say a big regret, obviously we all need that time to discover ourselves. But if I took a little bit more time and then shifted it, I think sometimes that maybe I could have helped, and maybe the disease wouldn't have taken her.
Okay.
So, or I could have slowed it down, or whatever. I don't know. I guess you could say that's a regret.
Okay. It's understand. Yeah, I didn't know that. Um um
Yeah, crazy shit.
yeah, it is. And it's tough at any age.
Yeah.
Um but tell us what's one decision that you made in life that just turned your whole shit fucking 360. Like just
Okay. I thought about this question because I knew it was coming. And it's crazy when you think about one decision changing everything. But I do honestly think one decision changed everything. And I can literally link it to how I got from A to B.
okay.
And that was quitting Bonefish Grill.
All right. I'm definitely excited to hear this, seeing as recent events. Go
Okay.
for it.
So it might get a little long, so cut me off if it gets too long.
Oh no, we go in time limit draw.
Okay. So quit Bonefish Grill because I was being mistreated. I got a job at Chili's because my friend Jen worked there. A different Jen. No, yeah, Jen. Um, I go there. Then my friend Jess or Jen. Honestly, right now, I'm so tired. They're twins. Um, one of them invited me to work Comic Con. And at that point, I would say the decision to work Comic Con changed a lot because I then ended up Um, doing something I really enjoyed, Comic Con, meeting some fucking awesome people, Matt and Andrew, awesome people, and the whole Titan crew. But from there, I would say that that decision ended up getting me more into nerdism, like more of who I was. The boys over there, Matt and Andrew, got me into more traveling because with them I was able to go to like Canada, San Diego, Texas, all these places. I went to UK. You know, I started like my whole travel gig, and that like traveling alone, um, kind of changed my life a little bit because like some people, you know, like how some people are like, I'll never go to a movie alone because it's weird, or I won't go to dinner alone. It's weird. Like I traveled alone. You know, I got that. Uh, Going on an airport by myself, going flying by myself. I wasn't the first time, but I did a lot more. And just doing that kind of opened my eyes to like, okay, I can do a lot of things by myself, and it's not weird or unusual or anything like that. Like a lot of people do it. A lot of people
Yeah.
do it. And I think that opened up my eyes a little bit. And then from there, obviously, that's when I started going to like Japan and London and Canada and Florida and Texas and California and blah blah blah. I just started going boom 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 boom, and at that point I'm like, okay, the world is way bigger. From that decision, right? Then I go, the world is way bigger than fucking like New York.
Mhm.
It's way bigger than just like everything here and like the Four Seasons and shit like that. Like the world is huge. The world is like we live in such a big but small world because like our individual worlds can be really small if we want them to be small, or our individual worlds could be huge. It all really depends on what we want it to be. And I think once that door really cracked, I was like, I don't want my world to just be like small.
Yeah.
Like, I want it to be big. And then from there, you know, obviously, you know, like my shit's like, I want to help people. I want to travel. I just want to be me. I just want to be able to live. And just like, it almost made me appreciate the whole like not working a 9 to 5. Cause I'm like, again, like going to the DR, seeing people who don't even, they work a 6 to 10 every day just to have a roof over their head, not to have anything extravagant, just to have a roof over their head. Like, fuck. Like that's something then that gratitude even gets added. That whole why am I working a 9 to 5? Why am I doing this? Why am I in the rat race? Why am I doing this when there's people who are just so happy just to live, let alone am I working for the right reasons? Am I working to impress other people? Am I working to buy extravagant things? Or am I working just to be happy or just to have what I need, not what I want? And I think from that, it's like, okay, then I go, how do I work less hours to maximize what I need to then go do more things that I want? So you see how like that one decision, like,
It all spiraled.
yeah, and there's more like smaller details in that, like that's just like the general story, but like in that story, like I traveled, met new people, met dated a few girls in different countries, like got to go to Japan, got to go to New Year's in Japan, got to go to Wrestle Kingdom, got to go to the fucking Thames River, the you know like, I got to go to a football game, like a soccer game in London, like you know what I'm saying, like all this different shit. I got to meet random people in Texas, random people in fucking Canada, random people in San Diego that I'm still friends with on like social media, people that I would have never met. Think about it. People I would have never met that I still have relationships with today if I just said, no, I don't want to do Comic Con.
That's
And that
crazy.
Comic Con question wouldn't have happened if I stayed at Bonefish Grill.
So the one decision to leave, to focus on yourself, technically,
Yeah.
shifted everything.
Yeah. And then think about it. In all of that, right? I'm going to get a little deeper. All of that, all the exploration, all of the new things led me back home. Because when you travel, you do appreciate home. And then that's how I met Taylor. And then by meeting Taylor, being home, appreciating what I have at home, Then I had my son. And now I get to now redo the exploration, redo all of that exciting exploration, see new things with not only myself, which I know that I could do by myself, and I know that I can enjoy it by myself, but now I get to do it with her and with him. So I get to redo it again, different places, new experiences. Because again, even if I do the same thing that I did by myself, doing it with them adds to the experience,
That's awesome.
right?
That's awesome.
One decision.
So I have I think one more question for you. And I'm going to actually remix this question. So it's got two questions in one.
Ooh.
Two in one. So it looks like a lot of your life is dealt with a lot of like gratitude and giving back and like, you know, growth, so to speak. What is one piece of advice that you would give to your younger self? And what is one piece of advice that you would give to an 18-year-old Banks?
Okay, well, the first one is easy. For me, younger self, buy Bitcoin. Why didn't I do that? Why didn't I do that?
We're all too busy getting that pizza.
Why didn't I do that? I would say that, but really, um, that's probably the realest answer for real. Instead of like if I told myself, "Hey, buy Bitcoin" when I was with 2011. But if you want to go earlier than 2011, like 2010 when Bitcoin was started, 2009, whatever people want to say, I'd probably just say stop giving a fuck about what other people think. Just do you, live yourself, kind of. You know what I'm saying? Like I spent a lot of time caring. When I was younger, I spent a lot. Like I'd say from as long as I could tell to high school, probably senior year, I cared a lot about what other people thought to the point that I hurt myself, not physically, but like I was hurting myself mentally. And I would just tell myself, don't give a fuck. It does none. Literally, I'll be honest with you. All the people who gave their opinion of me in those stages of my life, I don't even know if they're still alive. To be honest, like that's how far removed I am from those people. That if they left this earth for any reason, hopefully they didn't, because I don't want to wish bad things. I would not know.
It's crazy.
And the people that cared about me, and the people that actually genuinely were my friends, I'm still friends with. I'm still have a relationship, whether it's like just on social media or I still talk to them on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. The people who genuinely cared about me, I still contact. I still are part of my life. But the people who took my attention or like took my insecurities or like past insecurities or whatever, I literally don't know if they exist anymore. So why did I give them so much time in my mind if they literally don't matter anymore?
That's powerful.
Yeah, it's weird. Uh 18-year-old banks. I would just I can't wait for those talks to be honest. 18-year-old banks, I can't wait. Um it's probably going to be a lot of like just be yourself, be respectful. Um just understand that I'm here if you need anything. If you need advice, I'm here. Because again, it's hard to give advice to a general, like I know for me, I was just sharing what I would tell to my younger self,
Mhm.
but I don't know how he's gonna be. So it's like if he's, who knows? Maybe he's an asshole and he just does shitty things, but hopefully he doesn't. But at 18, I would hope to just be able to just be like, hey, I'm here if you need me. Be respectful, treat people with respect and be yourself. Stop caring about what other people think. Because ultimately, I think that's what a lot of people's issues are, is that the haters, the naysayers, the people who are unhappy with their own lives just have to say something to make themselves feel better. And there's some people who just don't care, like myself. You could say anything to me for the most part, and I won't care. I like literally won't even blink twice. I'll just be like, "Oh, okay, cool." But I feel like these people they feed off of it. So they find the people that do react, and then once they figure out they got their claws on you, they don't let you go. And they'll
Of
just
course not.
keep ripping, keep ripping you down until you feel as shitty as they do, or you just don't interact with them anymore. That's an unfortunate thing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So that's probably what I would tell. I'd be like, and at 18, I'd be like, follow your passions, whatever makes you happy. Don't don't go to college because I'm telling you to go to college. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not that guy. If you go, oh, I want to be, I don't know, like a wrestler. Oh, I want to be a wrestler, and I don't want to go to college. Fucking do it then. I'll support you as long as you are passionate about it. I will support you, no matter what it is.
Facts.
So yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah. So let's see. I'll have that conversation in 16 years.
We'll have to listen if we're still doing disaster party and haven't gotten canceled by then. We'll pull it up and put it side by side.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Um, wow, that'd be a lot of episodes later we have to go through. Uh,
Yeah.
so I think that about wraps it up for Know Thy Neighbor Part 2, featuring the one, the only, the crypto king, Bitcoin King,
Bitcoin
Rob
Bob.
Cedeno. Bitcoin Rob. I still need a t-shirt and we need a
Me too.
crypto theme.
We need to sit
Really
down and do
do.
that.
I think, we should probably look into that.
Yeah. It
But how did you feel? How'd it feel?
was good. I liked it. Good to talk
Yeah,
about shit. I like it.
good.
Yeah,
We should probably continue doing this, right?
I think so. We gotta see who's gonna volunteer. Who's next?
Ooh, who's next?
We'll probably
So
do
if you
these like
could
once a month. We did the back to back just to kind of give a taste of like what it would be. We'll have different questions. We'll add things, stuff like that.
facts, maybe we'll get a little deeper, maybe we'll get a little lighter.
Yeah,
Depends
who
on how the
knows?
conversation goes.
Yeah, exactly. But I guess that's it for us.
That's it for us.
As always, remember to like, share, rate, review, comment, subscribe, and rate us on all social media platforms. You'll see us on the YouTube. You rate us on the Apples and the
Ooh,
Spotifys
ooh,
and all that other stuff.
ooh.
Until next time, this is Roberto Cedeno. Yes, I said Roberto.
Roberto. And this is the one true Whoa Daddy.
And we are out. Bye.